Welcome back to my channel. When we talk about having somebody's back, believe me, the US and the UK are proving that when it comes to supporting Israel. But the question is, are they supporting what's right? In today's video, I share reaction videos on what people think about the UK and the US's support to Israel and what they're currently doing to Yemen. Now, we all know what is currently happening with Israel and South Africa at the moment. Amidst all of this, we can't say that it is a coincidence that the US empire and the UK chose to attack Yemen on the first day of Israel's trial at the ICJ. Now, Yemen was one of the first countries to respond militarily to the genocide Israel was committing in Gaza. Are you all seeing just how all of this is leading to World War III if not stopped? I mean, there is a lot already happening. Unlike the US and UK to call for a ceasefire, they want to start a war. In case you don't know what is happening, the US is literally being Yemen for blocking their sea so they can stop a genocide. This was after they decided that in order to support the Palestinians, they're not allowing any ships pass through the Red Sea because Israel won't stop what it's doing to Gaza. Check out these reactions. I will be right back.
Folks, I'm making this video because people don't seem to realize how serious the situation is right now. At this point, we've seen for the last few months how the Houthi forces in Yemen have been stopping ships to support the Palestinians. They've said that in order to support the Palestinians, they're not letting any ships pass through the Red Sea because Israel won't stop bombing Gaza. And so demanding that Israel stop bombing Gaza, they are blocking the Red Sea. Well, now we find out that the United States and the United Kingdom are on the brink of attacking the Houthi forces, the Yemeni Houthi Ansar Allah forces that have been blocking the Red Sea. The U.S. and the United Kingdom are on the brink of carrying out a major strike against the Yemenis. And now we also find out that in Iraq, the Shia militias that are aligned with Iran say that if that happens, they will unload on American bases. They are locked and loaded and ready. Hezbollah in Lebanon is also locked and loaded and ready. And if the United States and the United Kingdom go ahead and attack the Red Sea, this could be the beginning. This could be the beginning of a really, really ugly situation. They are locked and loaded all over the Middle East, in Lebanon, in Iraq, and in other places to just unload on American forces immediately. If this happens, this could be a disaster. The solution is that Israel needs to stop in Gaza. The whole world is asking for a ceasefire to protect Palestinian lives. And the United States seems to be just standing by and protecting Israel at the UN Security Council and doing everything they can to continue to let Israel continue its bombardment. Well, the whole world is against it. There are proceedings going on right now in the International Criminal Court of Justice against Israel brought by South Africa. The whole world is saying that Israel just needs to stop. And now the United States is on the brink of launching World War III by attacking Yemen, basically because they are so determined to protect Israel. This is outrageous. This is crazy. De-escalate now. This situation needs to de-escalate. This is a disaster. De-escalate now. Do not strike Yemen. Tell Israel to stop bombing Gaza. The USA needs to stay the hell out of the Red Sea. Hands off Yemen. Stop supporting Israel. Ceasefire now in Gaza.
The United States is bombing Yemen. It has dropped over 100 precisely guided missiles in 60 locations on Yemen. Yemen, who has not harmed anyone, but blocked their sea so they can stop genocide. The United States is bombing Yemen when Yemen is trying to stop genocide with the support of Canada, Germany, Australia, Bahrain, Korea, South Korea, Denmark, Norway, and New Zealand. The United States, with the United Kingdom, is in Yemen. And Yemen is trying to stop it.
I don't think it's a coincidence that the US empire and the UK chose to attack Yemen on the first day of Israel's trial at the ICJ. This is because Yemen was one of the first countries to respond militarily to the genocide Israel was committing in Gaza. Their goal was to set up a blockade to and from Israel for as long as Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. This is why during the ceasefire, Yemen didn't attack a single ship. But instead of the US empire and the UK calling for a ceasefire, they decide to start another. This in turn sends a message to the rest of the international community that the US empire and the UK intends to continue backing up Israel for their actions, just like how the US and the UK were the last two countries to support apartheid Africa. Also, if you didn't know, Saudi Arabia, with the help of the US empire, has been bombing Yemen for the past 9 years.
Now, what I need you guys to understand is that the Houthis in Yemen stopped shipments from going to countries in the Middle East. That's all they did. Nobody got unalived. Not a single person got unalived. Now, they said until the unaliving of innocent people is not stopped, they will make sure that no shipments are going through. That's all they did. Now, this caused the UK and the US to get so angry that they started striking Yemen. They started unaliving people who did not unalive a single person. No duties whatsoever. Literally, just stopping shipments from going through is what caused this type of reaction. Because this was too much in the eyes of the UK and the US. Basically, the West and the one country in the Middle East for months now has been literally unaliving people. Thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Literal casualties, people losing their lives, yet the UK and the US are not looking. They don't care at all. They're still supporting, they're still justifying and making excuses. Once again, I repeat myself, the Houthis stopping shipments from going through without hurting anybody, without harming anybody, because they're saying they don't want innocent people being unalived, caused the UK and the US to airstrike Yemen. Now, the one country in the Middle East literally unaliving people, hurting them, most of whom again causes them to support. Yet there's the US and the UK that claims to be progressive, democratic, and righteous. They claim that they care about human life or justice, but honestly, they don't. Now, this is what the West has always been, and this is what the West will always be. Why has the UK and US been carrying out strikes on a group of armed people in Yemen called the Houthis? Well, the Houthis control most of the populated areas of Yemen, and they've been firing ends and target ships in the Red Sea. Really busy shipping route. Now, they said this is in solidarity with the Palestinians of Hamas and the people of Gaza. They are doing it against Israel, but a number of these ships that have been targeted have got no link with this at all. And the global shipping community in Britain, America, and a lot of other countries have warned them to stop. They haven't stopped, and that's why strikes went in. Are they actually going to work? I think it's too soon to say, but the Houthis are very tough people. They are ready to fight, and they say they're going to continue getting shipping. Now, if that happens, I think probably there will be more strikes by Britain and America and others, and this is a very dangerous point because it risks expanding the conflict in the Middle East. It also paints Britain and America as coming in possibly on the side of Israel, even though they would deny that, but that's how it's viewed in parts of the Middle East. And there is no easy way out of it right now. Now, the US and UK launched strikes on more than a dozen Houthi rebel targets in Yemen who have been attacking ships in the Red Sea for almost 2 months. Footage from the British military showed several of its Typhoon jets taking off from an airbase in Cyprus as they headed to conduct strikes. Now, eyes for any military action and said any attack wouldn't go unpunished. Now, the war between Israel and the Palestinian Islamist group Hamas has drawn in the Houthi rebels who have controlled northwest Yemen for nearly a decade. Like Hamas, the Houthis are hostile to Israel and backed by Iran. They have said they are hating vessels with links to Israel. Those ships with no such direct connection have also been affected. Now, a Houthi official referred to the attacks as the American Zionist British aggressions against Yemen. In a statement, President Joe Biden said the strikes were in response to the Houthis endangering freedom of navigation in one of the world's most vital waterways. But one congresswoman posted on X that President Biden can't launch strikes on Yemen without congressional approval. Strikes came right after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken wrapped up a trip throughout the Middle East, which was aimed in part at getting support for more action against the Houthis. But despite this, some key U.S. allies denounced the attacks, including the Saudi Foreign Ministry, which called for restraint and de-escalation in light of recent events in the region. Now, Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan described the U.S.-UK attacks as disproportionate uses of force and said that they are eager to turn the Red Sea into a bee bath. Now, the Houthis who support the Palestinian group Hamas called Friday's attacks barbaric and in a statement threatened that all US-UK interests have become legitimate targets. The rebels who control most parts of Yemen, including the capital, Sana'a, who promised to continue targeting Israeli-linked ships in the Red Sea. Tens of thousands of Yemenis gathered in several cities to condemn the US and British strike and to reaffirm their support for Palestinians. Yemen's Saudi-backed internationally recognized government blamed the Houthis for the UK UK and US strikes, saying the rebels bore responsibility for dragging Yemen into a conflict with its attacks in the Red Sea. Here are some of the international reactions to the attack, which threatens to further inflame tensions in the region. Iran: the attacks are happening in an effort to extend the full support of the US and UK approximately the past 100 days for the war crimes of the Zionist regime against the Palestinian people and the besieged citizens of Gaza, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said in a statement. Now, Ministry spokesperson Nasser Kanani said these attacks are a clear violation of Yemen's sovereignty and territorial integrity and a breach of international laws. Saudi Arabia: the Ministry of Foreign Affairs called for restraint and avoiding escalation after the strikes and said it was monitoring the situation with great concern. The kingdom emphasizes the importance of maintaining the security and stability of the Red Sea region as the freedom of navigation in it is an international demand, it said. Jordanian Foreign Ministry said the Israeli aggression on Gaza and its continued committing of war crimes against the Palestinian people and violating international law with impunity are responsible for the rising tensions witnessed in the region. The stability of the region and its security are closely tied, Safadi said, according to state media. The international community is at a humanitarian, moral, legal, and security crossroads, he added. Either it shoulders its responsibilities and ends Israel's arrogant aggression and protects civilians, or allows Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his extremist ministries to drag us into a regional war that threatens world peace. We have come to the end of the video. What do you, my viewers, have to say about this issue? Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section below. Thank you for always watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and of course, comment.